Hey guys, it's me, Power here, and today's video I'll be starting the How to Code series. So basically, in this video I'll be teaching you the two main methods of coding that I see used all around Obby Creator and that I use. I most of the time use this one, which we'll get into, and I'll be using, and this one, which is a different type of coding that I see a lot too, but I just don't like it as much because you have to insert fading parts, and we'll get into that. And so basically, the next part we're going to do before we introduce all these types is we're going to explain each part that are used for coding. So first of all, buttons, obviously. Buttons are most needed for coding as they literally do everything you need. Like, they set off the code, they commit functions. For example, this one makes this part invisible once the push block hits it, and they just are needed for coding. You need to do literally everything with them. They can open up parts, they can close them, they can activate moving parts, which is how I make my entities. So yeah, that's basically what buttons are used for. Their main functions here is you can either activate moving parts right here, or any parts, but I activate moving parts, make objects invisible, reset moving parts, reset push blocks, make objects visible. So all of them are very useful. I use literally all functions all the time. The only one that I might not use much is the reset push blocks one. I don't use that one very much because there's this part. But yeah, so that's pretty much all button does. It has these few functions that you can do. They let you commit lines of code and do a bunch of other stuff. So now we're going to get into the music part. Basically, this is just what plays a sound or music in the line of code. If you want to do that, it's optional, but that's the main reason you do this coding, is so you can have a sound with it. So yeah, that's basically, they're just activated by push parts and they play a sound when they hit them. Next is the fading part. This is exclusive to this type of coding, and it literally just fades and drops the part. It's the reason why I need it is to stop the push block when it's falling. And finally, the final main part of both types of coding is the respawn part. Basically, all it needs to do is respawn push parts. It's used to create loops. That's the main function of it. Okay, now let's get into these two types of coding. I want to describe them and tell you all what they do. So, each type uses a push block. This is so it can set off all the code and you don't need to activate it yourself when you're in the thing and playing the game in Obby or whatever. It'll literally just activate once you step on a button. So, let's show. So this is the conveyor type, as it's named as because you use a conveyor. Basically, the main reason you'd use this is to just easier, you can tell what each line of code does because it's not all jumbled up as this one is usually. It's always in a straight, orderly line, which I like, and it always just helps figure out how to do stuff easier. It also shows you the mechanics a lot easier, in my opinion, because it just falls through and you don't know what every part does. You'll have to dive into it and see where it connects to. And this, you can just see, oh, this push block will hit this playing in music, and this will come through and open or close or whatever something. This one could have multiple buttons to do a bunch of different mechanics. So yeah, that's the conveyor type. Let me show you what it looks like just activating it now. So here it goes. Playing the sound and opening the door. So that is the first line of code. If we want it to loop, we literally just put a reset part right here. Respawn part, sorry, not reset. And it'll continue to loop. Let me reset the Obby. And now we have the dropper type. This one I see is used for beginners most of the time, actually. I see a lot of beginner coders using it. Actually over in the distance, I think I might see dropper code. I'm not sure. I can't really tell from here. But it's not always beginners that use it. Some people just prefer it. But in my opinion, I still think conveyor is better. The reason why people use this is because you don't have to use a conveyor, which which I guess makes sense because conveyor can take up more space in long ways. This takes up more space vertically. So yeah, and the only new part, so like how this one kind of has a conveyor, this one's extra part that you have to add is the fading part. It just stops the block from doing stuff for a few seconds. But yeah, so that's basically the two main types of coding, the conveyor and the dropper. Let's walk into this so you can see what it does. There it goes. There it goes. So it literally just dropped down, played the sound, waited on here, and then fell and opened the door. So that is that code. So now, after I've introduced you to all this stuff, I want to show you it easier in a way where I engage you guys, kind of. It's sorry for sounding nerdy and confusing. This is my first time ever doing a tutorial. Bruh. Okay, so we are going to make a flickering light bulb. That's how I'm going to show you guys how this coding works. Now, I'm going to show you with the conveyor as I feel it's easier to do and not as complicated as this, and I'm sure you guys want the easiest way to make coding so you can continue building your obbies. So I'm just going to make it really simple and do a flickering light, and I'm not even going to spend much time on this thing. I'm just going to rotate it around, and there we go. Like, that's how fast I just sped run making that room. Okay, now we're going to do that and close it off at the top. Okay, so now we're going to place one of my light bulbs. I have this one. This is the one I usually use, so I'm just going to place it up here. That is my basic light bulb. It's just two parts. This one has a light on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the conveyor, like I said before, because I find it easier and you guys want the easy version. And we are going to make this light completely flicker on and off with the coding and making it to where the actual light goes out too, not just like the part disappearing. Because some people use timed parts and that makes it to where the light doesn't go out either. It's just the part. We're going to make it to where the part goes out, the light goes out too. So first of all, let's go ahead and grab a conveyor. Wait, hold on, let me fix that. Over here. Oh, that won't let me select that, so let me try again. Now it should be disconnected to those parts. So if I do this, yep. Okay, so here's this code up here. This will activate at all times. But why will we have it activate at all times? Because it's flickering, and we don't want it to just happen once or twice. We want the flickering to infinitely go on. So, as I said before, using this respawn part, we can loop the mechanics. So I'm going to shorten this conveyor real quick. And now, if I can delete this, and this will infinitely loop. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to make it to where this part and the light disappears. So let's put a button right here. And make it to where it makes objects invisible. And then we're going to do time 0.5. Then we're going to turn off show timer. Player activated true, pushback activated true, can collide false. This is crucial so the pushback can go through and it won't get stuck. Then modify effects true, which is the light, and objects edit this. So, yep, look at this. Now, the light flickers and repeatedly flickers. But you may notice the entire bulb disappears. That's weird. So, how we're going to fix this is we are going to copy this, delete the light, make it one smaller on all angles, bring it up 1, 2. I don't care. I'm gonna bring it here, turn it black, and now we have a working flickering light. Now that is pretty cool. So that is how you make a working flickering light with the coding, and that is basically the introduction to the series. Each episode will make something new, and it's basically just going to be teaching you how to do something that's more advanced, or something like how to make a doors entity. Like I can do something like that, like an entity experience thing. I can teach you how to use the coding to do that. If you guys want a video just making something with this type of coding, I will. And also, if you have any questions, comment it down below, because this is my first tutorial. It's probably not going to be very good, so just comment down below any questions. I'll help you out with it, because I'm better long-term commenting than I am with quick video like this. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this is helpful. If it wasn't, just comment down below and I can help you out. Yeah, bye. Bye too. Oh, flashy wave didn't work. Well, whatever. /E wave, bye.